Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Binging with Badness, the only podcast that won't look back when Hades tells us not to and send you back down to Hades Town forever. My name is Mitchell McIntyre.
And I'm Vanessa Vogel.
And this is the Christmas Waltz, which was a movie that came out yesterday.
Yes?
Yes. And is one step closer to us getting a break from the Hallmark slog. I've found out that while YouTube might prefer it if you do long videos every day, the people most certainly do not.
Mm-hmm.
Because the views have dropped sharply.
Oh. Well.
Yeah. So, at some point, there's this movie, there is the USS Christmas,
Mm-hmm.
and there is If I Only Had a Christmas. And then that's it.
Oh.
That's Hallmark's Thanksgiving slog.
Mm-hmm.
So if you watched them all with us, why? You don't have to. But
thank you.
But thank you. What have you thought about all this so far?
I thought it was really good. I mean, it's like Christmas cheer in the time of dark, awful.
In the time of cholera?
In the time of cholera, or COVID-19, or whatever you want to talk about it.
See, but like, a lot of these movies, and I noticed that this movie specifically, this is a Chino.
Is it?
Yeah. You don't see it?
No. What? How? What?
It's Christmas in name only.
No, I understand that. I was just wondering how. Please elaborate.
Well, it's got nothing to do with Christmas. It kind of takes place at Christmas, but like, there's no reason for it to. Oh, it's the Christmas dance recital. They don't even dance to like the Nutcracker.
That's true. They don't.
It
would have been better if they had.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought they were going to do. They didn't. For those of you who don't know, this movie is all about dancing. Hence the fact that it's called the Christmas Waltz. Which I guess is a song, because wasn't the Christmas Waltz a favorite song of one of our characters early on?
Was it?
I remember hearing that. But anyway, this one, it stars Lacey Chabert, Will Kemp, and J.T. Church. I don't know who Will Kemp and J.T. Church are, but you probably know who Lacey Chabert is. Anyway, Avery, who's Chabert, turns to her dance instructor, Will Kemp, for guidance after the wedding of her dreams is unexpectedly canceled. Real simple. Not nearly as simple as the next movie, which I believe has one line of explanation. We'll get to that tomorrow. But yeah, so like I said, it stars Lacey Chabert, who has been in 22 Hallmark movies.
Oh, damn.
22 of them, ranging from Christmas to regular, like, murder mysteries. There's a lot of Hallmark murder mysteries.
Yeah. I guess.
That's weird to me. Is it not to you?
Well, murder
Hallmark and murder don't go together.
Not during Christmas, no, but, like, they gotta do something during the year, and murder's a big, easy target, you know? Comedy is hard.
Murder is not.
Murder's not. You take a rock, you kill him, and then you hide the rock, and then you spend 60 minutes trying to find the rock.
Also, it's very generous of you to call these movies comedies. Yeah, she's been in 22. So she's like Hallmark's Meryl Streep.
Oh, that's nice.
Got a movie? Go to Lacey Chabert. But also, you probably know her best. She played Gretchen Wieners in the movie Mean Girls. Which is a fantastic movie. And I know you still haven't seen it.
Correct.
Because I'm a bad husband who hasn't shown it to you yet. But she's very good in that. I believe she's the main, like, villain of the film. As much as there can be a main villain.
Is she the one in the posters that is, like, with blonde hair in a pink sweater?
Yes.
Oh!
Yeah. 4 for Glen Coco. You go, Glen Coco. And none for Gretchen Wieners. Bye.
She's the one with the crazy book, right?
Yeah, the burn book. That's,
I hear references to that.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly in Brooklyn Nine-Nine from Charles
From
Boyle.
Charles, yeah. Yeah, well, we should watch it. I think, you know what we should do? This would kill us dead. One of our series, if we continue with this thing, should just be Lindsay Lohan movies.
There's a decline.
There's like 6 of them, and most of them are shit.
Well, Parent Trap is real good.
Parent Trap is good. Herbie Fully Loaded is okay.
I've never seen it.
Mean Girls is great. And then we get into like, I Know Who Killed Me. The Canyons. Uh-oh.
That's a movie? Last one? Uh-oh.
No. No, it's not. But it should be. No, but she was in...
Was she the girl in One Missed Text, or am I thinking of some other actress?
I think you're thinking of a different actress, but maybe it's her. She is also in Machete. The first Machete movie.
Danny Trejo?
Yeah. Which is a good movie.
Apparently he makes excellent tacos. It's a very strange
Yeah, Danny Trejo has a cookbook.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know, I like collecting absolute trash cookbooks.
Hell yeah.
Everyone puts out a cookbook. It doesn't matter if you're the WWE or Coolio or Anthony from Queer Eye. Y'all have a cookbook.
But Anthony from Queer Eye makes sense. Kris Jenner does not.
Yeah, it all started with Kris Jenner when I picked up this terrible cookbook. And I am not kidding you. There is a recipe for oatmeal that just says, follow the instructions on the package of oatmeal.
That's another podcast, and I will listen to that one.
Where I just talk about cookbooks?
It all started with Kris Jenner.
It started with Kris Jenner. It's a bad... Oh, God. Guys, there's a recipe from Nicole Brown Simpson in there.
Yeah, that shocked me.
And so...
Real hard.
I realized there were no rules to cookbooks.
I realized the god of cooking was dead. And here we are.
Like, Japanese kung fu movies had lied to me. There is no god of cooking. And... And so I have been on a quest to collect the absolute trashiest collection of cookbooks.
It's so much fun. Like, we have good cookbooks, and then we have, like, these are the ones you bring out at parties.
Yeah.
I don't know how we got onto that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
She was also in the television show Party of Five. She was Eliza Thornberry.
Oh.
In The Wild Thornberrys. She was also, this is something not a lot of people know, she was the very first Meg Griffin. In the first season of Family Guy, Meg Griffin was played by Lacey Chabert, and then she was replaced by... Oh, I'm blanking on her name. Mila Kunis. Sorry, Mila Kunis, I know you're watching. Yeah, she was played by Mila Kunis. So, fun fact. She was also... Do you guys remember Anastasia?
The movie?
The movie.
The Fox movie?
The Fox movie.
I love that movie.
That's now a Disney movie. She played young Anastasia's singing voice. So...
I swear, I don't remember little Anastasia singing.
She might just be young Anastasia. Anywho, our male lead is a guy by the name of Will Kemp, who has not been in as many well-known movies, but he has been in Royal Matchmaker, Love, Romance, and Chocolate, Petals on the Wind, Kristen's Christmas Past, Christopher and His Kind, and of course, Step Up to the Streets. I've seen Christopher and His Kind. That's a very good movie. Matt Smith is also in it.
Matt Smith?
Yeah.
What's the doctor doing here?
Fun fact.
Huh.
Anywho. So, on to the movie itself. This one is a little bit easier to talk about. There's not a lot to talk about because it is a full-on dance film, which means probably 20 minutes of the runtime is spent dancing. And right off the hop, it's choreographed very well. What do you think?
Yeah, because, like, clearly someone knows what they're doing with that, like, opening bit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nice. It's good. They're professional dancers. But the thing that immediately threw me is that, okay, it's like a fancy dance where he, like, picks her up and he's doing fancy shit and stuff.
A fancy dance.
And she immediately says, I want my wedding dance to be like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, you don't.
So we open with a choreographed dance between two people. So yeah, the credits are over this choreographed dance sequence. We pull out, and it turns out it's a YouTube video being watched by our main character, Avery. And she is getting ready for her wedding, and she wants her first dance to be this overtly choreographed thing that was really popular a couple years ago. First of all, we find out that it's like 3 weeks to their wedding.
Mm-hmm.
You do not have enough time to train for that.
No.
Has nobody in this movie put together a wedding before?
Nope. She's just now getting her cake. I don't know.
Yeah. So
we had to get our cake, 3 months in advance?
Something like that. It takes about 3 or 4 months.
Because you're not the only wedding that they're doing, and they have to get the supplies, and they have to do like 4 demo cakes for you.
Yeah.
Before they nail down what the right one is. And you have to go through the guest list. So unless your wedding's like tomorrow and you're getting a sheet cake.
Yeah, this is ridiculous. So her and her fiance leave for their cake tasting. Again, 3 weeks before. She is getting married to a guy named David. David is a dick.
Yeah.
And I don't mean just like, oh, wow, what a nasty guy. No. This is as close to a abusive relationship that we have ever gotten in a Hallmark movie. And to Hallmark's credit, it's not played as like, oh, we should be rooting for him. But this is like, it's not cool. In case you're wondering, David is not the male lead. So they are doing a cake tasting, and David keeps taking business calls because he's a wang. Boy, he sounds too busy for a relationship. Can't imagine this is going to bite them. Ivory picks out a certain cake. It was a nutcracker cake because it's a Christmas wedding. Mm-hmm. Do not have your wedding that close to Christmas. Although hers wasn't like Christmas Eve. It was like the 20th.
Yeah.
Which is skirting a line. But it's okay.
Yeah.
So she gets a nutcracker cake because David's not paying attention. And then David doesn't like the cake.
They had 3 very well-made cakes in front of her.
They did.
Like, there was a naked cake with, like, Christmas forest stuff on it.
Yeah, that did look cool.
And then, what I didn't make sense in the sense of, like, oh, you can have the middle cake, which is raspberry, and decorated like the nutcracker, or the left cake that's chocolate and decorated like a forest. And I'm like, why can't I have the nutcracker decorated like the...
I was gonna say, what's the problem here?
Why do I have to stick with the decorations and the flavors? I'm the bride. Give me a break.
Shut up and give me what I want. She drinks a celery juice for her lunch, which sounds disgusting.
Yeah.
Celery is my least favorite vegetable.
It's everyone's least favorite vegetable.
Apparently not. Like I like broccoli. I'll eat Brussels sprouts. I like vegetables, but celery juice, honey.
That is gross.
You know how much sugar you're gonna need to make that taste less like diesel fuel, and it's just gonna taste like sweet celery.
Yeah. Which
sounds like a swear word in a children's show.
Or a thing that Batman and Robin say.
Oh,
sweet
yeah.
celery, Batman.
So she goes to the dance studio to book their lessons for her and her fiance. And some little kid tries to upsell her to get 10 lessons.
I mean, he succeeds. Not doesn't try. He succeeds.
That's true. You're right. Yeah, so he's like, oh, for anything, you're going to need like 10 lessons. And she's like, I really only need like 4. Because not if you want to dance like this. Trust me, lady. And he's like 12.
He works the front desk. Clearly he knows what the hell he's doing.
Yeah.
Which is weird because they bring up the fact that this place needs a secretary, and this kid is clearly the secretary.
The secretary, yeah. Yeah, so she makes a phone call to the place, and nobody answers, so she has to go down by herself, which happens quite a bit. It's kind of like a running joke. So this kid is just like, oh, you're going to need 10, trust me. We have the best teachers in the world. They'll get you where you need to go. Like, when you try to get like a gym membership.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, bro, it's going to be all right. You just need to, what you need is this, this, and this. Yeah, that's what he reminded me of. So, as he's talking, a British fellow walks out. And he's like, oh, what do you think? And he's like, oh, well, you know what? This place is great. I say you go for it. He's like, all right, you sold me. And I'm into it. So she signs up, and she now has 10 lessons for her and her fiancé. Or does she? Because David gets a position in Boston with a huge promotion that he had already turned down because their life is in New York. Which, by the way, this movie did not open like every other New York Christmas movie. Appreciate it. He didn't take this job, and then he turned around and took it without telling her. And he's like, well, let's just put a pin in this whole wedding. The wedding is 24 days away. You're not putting a pin in shit.
You've already sunk an amazing amount of money into this, so...
Yeah. Avery breaks up with David because what a dick this guy is.
He was just like, I don't want to get married because I got a new job, so...
Yeah, he's like, well, I'll move to Boston, and then we'll deal with it later, and then I'll come back, and... He's like, so we're just getting married when it's convenient for you, or what the hell?
I'm still confused. Like, why couldn't he fly out from his job to get married that day? Or is the fact that he took the job...
I think it's the fact that he took the job without telling her. Like,
Yeah.
That's what really set her off.
I mean, she says later that they discussed it, like, adults.
Yeah.
And they came to the conclusion that he should turn down the job.
Yeah.
But then he was like, nah.
I'm gonna take it anyway. Nice. Life-changing decision made. So she goes to the dance studio the next day to try to cancel and get her money back. And the British guy is there. And he's like, oh, I keep trying to call this place and there's no answering machine. And he's like, oh, really? And she's like, yeah, hasn't this place ever heard of a virtual secretary? I mean, come on. And he's like, well, I'll put that into consideration. Because he owns the place. Mm-hmm. British guy is a dance instructor and the owner. And she was like, what, we met yesterday and you threw me to that one kid. Because, yeah, it was his first sale. I didn't want to blow it for him. So that's kind of amusing.
That kid has a future in finance.
Yeah, he does. So she says that she wants to quit the lessons because it was for her and her fiance, but she no longer has a fiance, so... And he goes, well, then why not just keep them and dance for yourself? She's like, oh, I can't dance for myself. I'm too busy. I don't think about myself, blah, blah. Sound familiar?
Yeah, it comes off like how she's too busy, but it also comes off like he just doesn't want to give her money back.
That it does.
Like, he keeps trying to, use this emotional response so that way she can use the dance lessons, because he really does not want to give this money back.
Times is hard, and he needs that money.
If there's a pandemic coming, he needs it.
Yeah. But she's too busy with her job to think about herself. So despite all of his cajoling, she leaves anyway. Mm-hmm. And the lessons are canceled. Movie over. So it's weird that it's so short.
I know.
But, maybe a 5.
I was gonna go with, a 4, because, for Christmas Waltz, there was only, one waltz, and,
Very little Christmas. No, of course the movie's not over. I'm not that lucky. She meets her parents for dinner, who throw her kind of a pity fest. But it's weird, because her parents paid for the wedding. And then she's like, I'm sure you can get your money back. And they're like, well, now let's not be too hasty. The wedding still might happen. I beg your unbelievable pardon?
Okay, the conversation goes like this. Mom, Dad, I'm sorry about this whole thing. If you go down to the venue, I'm sure they'll give you money back. Oh, no, the wedding might not happen. Pretty sure it won't. Well, how can we help? And she just kind of looks at them like, can't get your money back from the venue.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, how can we help? Get your money back from the venue. The wedding's not happening. They do not let up on... These are awful parents, by the way.
Yeah, they are rich, and they like the way that things are, and that's it. That's how they be.
Yeah. So, they also... They're at this restaurant, and a little girl in, a dancer's tutu shows up. Mm-hmm. And she sees him, and then she remembers, dance. Mm-hmm. And then she goes, hey, remember when I used to dance as a kid? And they're like, yeah. Why did you guys stop me? It's like, well, you were so busy with your studies and your academics that something had to fall by the wayside. And Like, we chose dance. And she was like, but I had so much fun doing it. Yes, well, now look at you. You're a super fancy lawyer. One day you'll thank us. Ooh, someone's getting put in a home.
Well, I'll thank you when you're dead when you hand me out my inheritance.
Yeah.
So. When's that day coming? I'm already 30. Haven't thanked you yet.
Yeah, right? I have written here, is everybody but her in this movie a dick? Which is exactly the opposite of the last movie, so... Because everybody in the last movie, 5-Star Christmas, was nice, except for our main character, who was a dick.
And she's clearly going through something right now.
She goes back to the dance studio to take those lessons, damn it. And the guy right before her looks exactly like Josh Chan from Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
Was it?
It's not, but it looks just like him. I had to second guess, because, like, we've seen him dance. Vincent Rodriguez III is his name. We saw him live with the cast of Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. And he can dance like a son of a bitch.
He's also ripped as fuck.
Yeah.
And he had a muffin for breakfast, and he gets to be ripped as fuck. How unfair is that?
So she goes and she's like, I'm going to dance for me. And Roman, who's the British guy, was like, dope, let's do it. And I've noticed that there's something about the British accent, because he's a British actor, he speaks with a British accent, that makes him sound like a good actor, even when he's not. I'm not saying he's a bad actor, I don't think he is, I think he's good. But, like, everything said with a British accent makes him sound like, I don't know, just better. What do you think?
Yeah, I think we're trained to believe that accents mean good, right?
Like, British equals Shakespeare.
British equals Shakespeare and intelligent. And it really doesn't. Like, think of all the stupid things Ron Weasley has done in his life.
What matters on the British accent? When you have this polite British, Hugh Grant kind of accent, you sound very smart and very learned. But yeah, when you got this, like, Cockney accent, like a fucking scouser, you know what I mean?
But if you say it in this light British accent, and you're Paul Hollywood, like you don't like gherkins, you can go fuck yourself, Paul!
Paul Hollywood. Stay tuned for our British Bake Show podcast. We have so many other podcasts we have to do. So through this whole scene, they start to dance, but Avery has difficulty giving up control. When you're dancing, there's a leader and then there's a follower. She does not want to be the follower, despite the fact that she doesn't know what she's doing. So he's like, you have to, like, let me lead and we'll get through this. She's like, well, why can't I lead? It's like, you can, but it's going to take us a long time, and I thought you wanted this over quick. So she screws up a couple times, and things get awkward and toe-steppy. And eventually she starts crying, and leaves, and quits again. This being the second time in 20 minutes.
But, again, she's going through something,
yeah,
so...
Movie over. So, no,
So we own a chow. She's a very nice dog.
Yeah, her name is Tanner. She's dope. You guys can hear her when we do our live streams.
Yeah. She makes pig noises. Give $1 on our Patreon to support Tanner.
Yes. Patreon.com/emptysquare/Tanner. But yeah, so she gets home to find that the bouquets she had ordered are in for the wedding. And they are exactly what she wanted, which bums her out to the point where she realizes she's still wearing the dance shoes she borrowed from the dance studio. She had to wear, like, leftover shoes, so she has to go return them.
They were like lost and found shoes or something like that. Those are covered in COVID.
Yeah, don't touch them. The next day at work, everybody gives her the pity face, and she has her assistant FedEx the ring back to David. After work, her friend shows up at her door with a whole-ass Christmas tree, and we get a little decoration scene.
Yeah.
Because at Christmas time, your friends help you by decorating stuff for you.
Well, at least we didn't have they found love in a hopeless parking lot.
That's true. We didn't have they found love in a tree lot where love is made. During the scene, she talks about her first lesson with her friend, and she calls it an epic fail, like it's fucking 2008 or something.
I'm pretty sure that's when this was written, yeah.
I haven't heard somebody use that earnestly since, like, 2010. Fucking millennials.
I swear, these things are written, put in a vault until they need them.
Yeah, they must be. There must be, like, a Hallmark vault of 1,000 movie scripts. Mm-hmm. And we just pick 40 of them out and go, I guess we're doing this one.
And I think we finally hit the millennium, because I feel like the last few ones came from the 90s.
I feel, you know what? Oh, good. We're moving up. She goes back to the dance studio for her second lesson, despite the fact that her first lesson was 20 minutes long. And she's like, "Oh, I'm ready, and I'm gonna do it this time. Look, I bought my own shoes." And then the kid from earlier shows up, and he's like, "She's really sorry, and she wants to do it again." And Roman's like, "Really?" And she's like, "I guess."
Yeah, those are salsa shoes. Try again.
Yes, that's... She goes, "Great, you bought your own shoes, but those are for Latin dancing, so..." But hey, it's progress.
She never gets better shoes. She just uses the Latin shoes from now
on. So now she only has 9 sessions booked, so good luck, lady. In order to get her balance, she can't, like, get right on the shoes. So Roman goes to take her to a ice skating rink because she can't skate, and this is a good way to get your balance on your feet. He says, as they kind of walk down the street, he mentions that he's Russian, so he was, like, born in skates. And she says, "If you're Russian, how come you have a British accent?" And he goes, "I have a British accent?" That's funny. They get into a snowball fight, and 1 concussion later, we end up in the hospital.
Yeah, if you're gonna have a snowball fight, you have to have it at equal distances, apparently.
Yeah.
And apparently there cannot be any moving targets. You just duck, or you stand still.
And cover. Duck and cover. Sorry.
Is that a thing?
That's Bert the Turtle.
Bert the Turtle.
You never heard of Bert the Turtle?
Who's Bert the Turtle?
Back in the 1950s, when we were all terrified of nuclear death,
yeah,
they used to show school children this cartoon about Bert the Turtle.
Okay.
Saying that if you see a mushroom cloud, duck under your desk and cover your head. And that will save you from an atomic bomb. So...
From under kindling?
Yes. So there was a song with Bert the Turtle, who was a cartoon turtle, that would go, duck and cover, duck and cover.
Oh.
I will show it to you on YouTube because it's amazing and kind of scary.
The 50s are fucking crazy.
Yeah. So he is pretty much okay, but he gets up and he has balance issues.
You get the one other funny line.
Yeah, you get what is probably the funniest line in the movie. He stands up and goes, "I'm sorry. I don't seem to remember how to stand up. Please don't tell anybody. I'm supposed to be a ballroom dancer." The doctor calls Avery his wife, but instead of the, "What? Us? No, we're not dating." She's like, yeah, no, I'm his wife. And he's like, "What the hell?" Because they only let immediate family stay in here. Ah, got it.
"So where do we live, honey?"
Yeah, where do we live, honey?
Brooklyn.
So she brings him home and offers to stay the night because if he dies overnight, who's going to teach her how to ballroom dance? So
that earned her many bad place points.
Yes, but he's okay. And then he even says, "You understand that teaching you to ballroom dance is worse than suffering a concussion, right?" She comes over the next day with breakfast and groceries to help him out in the morning. They talk about a Matryoshka doll that he has to hammer home the fact that he is Russian. And it's basically a metaphor that everybody, like, you have to look deep inside yourself to find out who you truly are. Mm-hmm. But his Matryoshka doll goes from Christmas tree to penguin to snowman to another smaller Christmas tree. Basically meaning who he is on the inside is what he is on the outside, rendering his point moot.
But, like, maybe you're just made of Christmas on the inside.
I'm just saying. Whoops.
There was at least 2 women on the inside.
Yeah.
And then I think it went into random.
Yeah, so it's a transgender allegory. The next day at the studio, he gets her own Matryoshka doll as a thank you for this morning. And so they start to dance, and she keeps looking at her feet to make sure she's not tripping over anything, which you're not supposed to do. So he shuts the light off, making it hard for her to see her own feet. And they dance, and it's backlit with Christmas lights, and it's very pretty. Uh-huh. At work, Avery brings in a hot cocoa cart for the group and wins herself a big-ass account, which is super important and has to be done right after Christmas. I thought this would be a bigger deal in the movie. It is not.
Well, she forgot the contract thing.
Yeah, but I thought she was going to forego this, and I was like, oh, it's going to be a big failure, and it's really not.
There's a lot of plot strings that get lost.
Yeah.
There's that, and the fact that her parents still have all the makings for a wedding.
Yeah. And it's not happening.
Nope.
Roman calls her at work for some reason. And apparently his parents liked her so much and wanted to thank her for saving her son's bumped noggin and invite her to a big Christmas party. So we go to the fourth lesson. She learns how to stop anticipating his movements and instead just kind of going with the flow. And there's this nice little transition where they dance and we pass by a bar and it's another day. Mm-hmm. And so it's a costume change and everything.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah.
Like I said, this is a very well choreographed film for being a Hallmark film. So she's really digging the dance to the point where she's dancing by herself in the elevator. Apparently the kid from earlier can also dance. So he helps her out a little bit.
Boy, can he.
We basically get a dancing montage until the Christmas party. She's super nervous because what even the hell is a Russian Christmas party?
Alcohol, I imagine.
Pretty much. At the party, it's learned that he wants to expand his dance business to a place in Brighton Beach, but the investor wants to see a business plan, and he's an artist, not a businessman, and lucky for him, she is a businessman. Hey, does that sound familiar? So Avery, what with being a lawyer and all, helps him out with that. We meet Mom, who thanks her for helping out Roman, and then immediately conscripts them to cook. And apparently the Russian makes a very good Italian spaghetti sauce. Because she takes a spoonful, puts it in the pot, and then directly into her mouth without blowing on it whatsoever.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Russians go hard.
Russians go real hard. So, at the party, Roman has a dance partner who's actually the mother of the little kid we saw earlier, whose name eludes me. So, his dance partner.
She works at the studio. He thinks of her like a sister.
Yeah. So she realizes that, hey, you two have a thing, and you should go out. It's one of those scenes.
Yeah.
We talk about how Avery's parents seem to be upset with her for getting dumped. And fuck that. And she's afraid to look like a failure. Roman realizes that, hey, you think about the future too much, and you need to be in the present. You need to be here and now and ready for fun. So they do a Gene Kelly style Dancing in the Rain number.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
Straight up, dancing on, what are those things called? Light poles?
Yeah, dancing on the light poles. He's up on a bench.
I think he even has an umbrella.
Yeah, so it's really cool, and it's snowing. So that's kind of nice.
It's a little strange to put a Gene Kelly style dance number there, though, logistically.
Yeah, but I think because it's a dance movie, they just wanted it to look cool. I think it worked.
It worked. It's just, I think it's a little out of place.
Yeah. The next day at the dance studio, we find out that Roman has finally put in a virtual receptionist, so somebody will answer the phone. But he's also having trouble with his expansion, and he asks Avery for help. And his partner is out sick, so he needs her to help him learn his dance for the big Christmas festival that's going on, big Christmas concert, big Christmas recital, to help him learn his steps for that. This will be important later. And in exchange, she gets tickets to the thing. But they are on December 20th, which was the day of her wedding. This bums her out, but she accepts. At night, Mom comes over and for dinner, but we didn't have time to cook, so she gets takeout. And Mom is super dismissive about her dance thing. And she's like, I don't think, make sure you're working hard enough, and she's a real bitch.
Yeah, she's kind of a twit about the whole thing.
Parents, am I right?
Yeah.
Parents just don't understand. The next day, Roman invites her down to Brighton Beach, where we see where the second studio will be. Inside the place, it's decked out for Christmas, so naturally we have another dance scene. And I gotta imagine writing the script for this movie has to be easy, because 20 or 30 minutes of your movie is dance. So, they try to do this move where, like, he flips her upside down, and then they land and spin, but she full-on headbutts him. So, not great. The next day, David shows up at her place of work like a fucking nutsack.
He was like, "What up, girl?"
Yeah, like, that's okay. He's like, "I tried to call you a bunch of times, but you didn't answer, and then I went to your house, and your doorman told me you were gone, so I came here to your work. Warning! Warning! Red flag! Red flag!"
And, like, he doesn't get it that she definitely broke up with him.
Yeah.
It wasn't just, "I don't want to get married to you." It was, this whole thing is over.
Yeah. So David makes some big display about wanting to come by and fix everything. And he's like, "I can just commute to Boston. It's okay." Like, that fixes everything. And apparently Avery does not think so and turns him down. He asks her to think about it and then kisses her on the cheek without consent, which is not cool. This is the big one. He then goes to...
We should also mention that he filled her office with, like, flowers and shit.
Yeah. He goes to Roman.
Yeah, Roman's dance studio.
In the dance studio. And he, like, big leagues her? Or big leagues him?
He also knows her entire schedule of that she was taking dance lessons here. She never told him that she was taking dance lessons at Flurry Dance Studio.
Yeah.
He just knew this.
So he, like, stands up and he's like, "What's up? Right, you know, big place you got here. We haven't met. I'm David." And he just, like, blanks him and he goes, "Avery's David." And he's like, "Alright, can I fucking help you?" And then he basically straight up tells him to, like, stay away from her. Because we're trying to work it out. And we don't want anybody, like, complicating things. And it's straight up, like, abusive behavior. At Avery's final dance lesson, she wants to sign up for another 10. But Roman is reclusive because of David's bullshit. And basically it's like, "Oh, no, we already sold all the places. You can't come here anymore." And she's like, "Hey, why are you so weird?" And he's like, "You know, we have an investor showing up at the dance recital to see if I'm good. And, like, the expansion's not going well. I got a lot of pressure." Throughout the movie, when they do the waltz, he's like, "Oh, yeah, you know, lock eyes with me and we'll do this." And she's like, "I thought I had to, like, move my head to the left." She goes, "Yes, but we're telling a story. This is a dance." And in this one, he's just like, "Look to the left." She's like, "What about telling the story?" He's like, "We're not telling the story right now." So it's very, like, all the romantic tension is gone. It's all awkward and very stumbly. She hands him a revised business plan and leaves very early. So the next day, it's the deadline for the big work thing, and she forgot all about it. So she tells the boss, like, "Hey, I forgot it, but I have it. It'll be a little bit late." And he's okay with that.
Well, he's a little bit fussy about it.
Yeah, but like, not to the point where she's like, "Okay, just don't let it happen again." And she's like, "Okay." And that's the end of that storyline. Thanks for coming. After that, she calls David to get together to reevaluate things because he sent a bunch of flowers over to her work, which again is super uncool.
More goddamn flowers.
Yeah, David lets it slip that he talked to Roman to try to manipulate him. And then as he's talking, he's like, "He just wants you for the free labor because you're a lawyer and he's getting all that work for free. You don't need him. You just need us." And she's like, "Yeah, this is over forever." Gets up and leaves.
Yeah. Side note, her ring box has a light in it to make the ring look better.
Yeah.
I've never seen that before.
That's cool.
Just as a aside, that was neat.
Yeah. Afterwards, Avery opens the Matryoshka doll that she got from Roman for a nice little sentimental moment, and remembers that she has tickets to Roman's show. We go with Roman and the kid to this big-ass theater. The kid, whose name is Nikki, apparently, because I just wrote it down, gets to walk on stage, and it's big, and it's expansive, and he's like, one day you'll dance here. And he's like, great! And then he leaves.
Kid does a fucking dance kickflip for funsies.
Yeah.
Fucking show off.
It looks like Roman's partner isn't going to make it due to being stuck in New York traffic. That's why nobody drives in New York. There's too much traffic. And I said, gosh, it sure would be convenient if somebody who knew all the steps would show up at the exact same time as a surprise. So Avery shows up at the exact same time as a surprise. And Roman calls her up and is like, hey, do you want to dance with me? Because please, for God's sakes. And she's like, I guess, but I don't know all the steps. I don't know if I can do this. And he's like, hey, yes, you can. And she's like, you're right.
The alternative is I dance with no one. So...
Yeah. So she has to give up full control to put her faith in Roman. And she did, and I'll be damned if they don't dance the fuck out of this number. Mm-hmm. We have our Merry Christmas lead kiss right on the stage. And then the movie ends.
Yeah. It just ends.
That's it. Like, they kiss, they finish the dance, they bow. I don't even think they bow.
Nope, they kiss and we fade
to black. And we fade to black. So, I guess Avery ends up with Roman. Roman gets his second location. The kid in the dancing part of the kid gets to dance in front of a crowd for the first time. Avery keeps her job and takes bigger risks, not needing to be so controlling about stuff all the time. Dave can fuck himself. Everybody's happy. Curtain down.
Yeah, I guess the parents are just out that money now, I guess.
Yeah, that's never explained. There's a lot of plot lines that are just
left
not talked about.
For dead.
Yeah. So I liked it, but it just ended, and it was kind of weird, so... Mm-hmm. Like a 6?
Yeah, I guess, like...
It's very well choreographed.
It's extremely well choreographed. Set design is great, like, it hits the requisite number of Christmas decor.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But the script is lacking.
It's a chino.
And we don't get any resolution on the fuck we do about Dave, who's clearly in I'm a winner back mode.
Yeah, he's not going to let this go. I think the chemistry between the two leads is very good.
Yeah.
I think he's a great lead. She's a very good actress. Aces. But yeah, it's just like, it ends so abruptly that you're just like, oh, all right.
Yeah, they're together now, and all our problems have been solved.
We'll never have problems again. And I guess that's it.
Which is a little bit unsatisfying.
Yeah. So there's not a whole lot to say about this movie, unfortunately.
Yeah, because, like, what are you going to say? Like, her friend was the traditional archetype of, girl, you gotta get with this boy.
Yeah, she was the black friend.
And, like, her parents suck.
Yeah.
But, like, you never see her resolve the fact that her parents do not approve of her dancing lifestyle.
They show up to the show, but that's it.
Only because she negotiated with them that they'll go do their regular scheduled Christmas.
Yeah, they had to fight for it.
If you come to the stupid show. And she only agreed it with Mom, and then Mom literally phoned her up and called her later. I was like, yeah, we'll come.
Yeah. So, that's that. I don't know, it's weird, because I feel like there should be more to say, but...
It only had one plot line. It didn't have a B line or a C line.
It had kind of a B plot with David, but that was picked up and ended pretty swiftly.
I mean, the answer that she gave him is the answer we're going to live with, which is no and go fuck yourself.
I like it.
But, like, he clearly didn't let the no and go fuck yourself go.
No.
So, it needed that one scene at the end of that other movie where we thought they had broken up, and then we had an additional scene where they're just like, I guess it's goodbye, and I guess this is the end. Good luck. Okay, bye. You know?
Yeah, we didn't get that.
Instead we got Gene Kelly dance numbers, which were great.
Which is nice. It's very well choreographed.
They did a great job with that.
Yeah. But I don't know enough about dance to even comment on them, so it was good, I guess.
It's good, I guess. If you like dance, watch this movie.
Yeah. So what would you give it? I give it a 6.
I give it a 5.5.
5.5, so 5.75.
Yeah.
For Christmas Waltz.
Because it just ends.
Yeah, I'm sorry, like, this is going to end pretty unsatisfyingly, much like that. Because I don't know where to go from here. Outside of, next movie.
What's the next one? Is it Very Jingoistic Christmas, Charlie Brown?
Yeah, so our next movie, which we will be doing a live stream for, but chances are good the live stream is already over, by the time you watch this. We are going to do, nope, that's a different thing. We are going to do, stay with me now. We are going to do a live stream of the USS Christmas. Can't wait.
Where the description literally was, Maggie's on a tide cruise and meets a naval officer.
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of pressure being put on this one. After that, on, what is today? Monday? Mm-hmm. On Tuesday, we will do If I Only Had a Christmas, starring Candace Cameron Bure and Warren Christie. And then for the first time in 14 days, we'll get to take a break from Hallmark and just live our life for a little bit.
We could watch The Christmas Story.
Oh, I would like that.
Or It's a Wonderful Life. I like It's a Wonderful Life.
So the other thing is, on Thanksgiving, we did our two movie live stream because we needed to catch up. Mm-hmm. And then we went away, and then afterwards, we watched together the movie Noel on Disney+.
Yeah.
And the gulf between a good Christmas movie and a Hallmark Christmas movie is so wide, I forgot what it was like.
Like, what did you like about Noel? Because I love Noel.
It just had, like, the money's on the screen. You know what I mean? And it's something about it being so professionally done and actually being shot like a movie and not like a long TV episode. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But yeah, so obviously we can't compare Hallmark movies to, like, real cinematic movies. Mm-hmm. But again, the gulf is wide.
Oh my Garland.
But anyway, thank you so much for watching us. For another one of these. Another one of these. We have one more live stream and one more straight up podcast coming at you. Before we will take a break until next Saturday. And then we will be back to our regularly scheduled 4 movies a week instead of 11. And if we do this again next year, we're going to find another thing.
We should just watch the regular Hallmark movies.
No.
I like Hallmark movies!
Of course we can. Because this is a lot. This is a lot over holiday.
It is.
But anyway, thank you guys very much for watching. Cutie, should they watch the thing?
If you like dancing, then yeah.
Yeah, honestly, if you're a dancer, this is your movie because it's dope.
It is. It's all about the art of the dance. And if you like vaguely Christmas art dance-offs, then yeah. If you like anything else or don't understand dance, then no.
Not really. It's got its moments, but if you're a completionist like us, you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
So, anyway, thank you very much for watching. We will see you tomorrow. Have a Merry Christmas. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving week, and it's back to the grind, which blows. Mm-hmm. But hopefully you're making the best of it, and what is a pretty shitty situation for all of us.
Yeah.
We love you. We thank you very much, and we will see you tomorrow.
Remember to like, comment, and subscribe.
Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. You can follow us on Twitter I'm at MTSquare, EMPTYSQUARE, cutes.
I am at Aquadia _.
And you can find us on Patreon if you want to kick us a couple bucks for our pain and suffering. Mm-hmm. I guess for my pain and suffering, because you seem to get a bigger kick out of this than I do.
It's fun. There's Christmas everywhere. I don't understand where the pain and suffering is coming from.
Well, you know, mostly the pain part and the suffering. No. If you would be so kind, you can throw us some money at patreon.com/emptysquare, EMPTYSQUARE. It's fun to spell out. That's why I do it every time. And that would be great. We can keep this train wreck rolling.
Mm-hmm.
But until next time, have a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
It's December 1st, so I'm allowed to say that. You can't stop me. Fight me.
Okay.
Don't actually fight me. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is spongy and bruised. All right, goodbye, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.